Hey everyone, and welcome to the Oily Cadence on Fresh Oil Fridays with the Oily Cadence. I'm Jena Ingram, and today I have my husband David with me.
Yes.
And we're here to talk a little bit about how we got started on this journey and exactly just what our story is. So I'm really hoping that this helps you out in your own personal wellness journey, and maybe give you some tips and whatnot on how maybe it'll help you out is what I'm really hoping. So yes. So we got our kiddo along today, so don't let his antics distract you too much because he is definitely a character. So to kind of get started on our story and how things went, we got married in June of 2014, and I just kind of over the years, as you can see, David kind of gained a little weight. And about the time that our kiddo came along was about where it peaked. And eventually, as things went, we decided to start living a little healthier in September 2017. And we kind of tried diets on and off over the years.
Tried several diets, yeah.
Yeah, and even right before we were married, of course, everybody wants to look the best on the wedding day, so so it was pretty much. And then just after, let's see, it was about January or so, that we really started going further down the road on that. And tell them how you were feeling basically when pretty much
in January.
Well, and before we really started, before oils and everything even.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we're going back that far.
Yeah.
So, well, like most everyone that might struggle with weight, I was tired all the time. I would get sick all the time, and I don't know, maybe that's just something that I had to deal with, but I would snore a lot. I'd keep Gina up.
I would go sleep on the couch.
Yeah, wake her up and have to, sleep on the couch or something like that. I would, just have problems with even allergies all the time. And after we got the oils and started learning about our health, started learning about, toxic chemicals, started learning about all these things that we've been sharing with you all over the past couple months now, things started to change. So we started to use the oils, started to feel a difference, and then started to take out some of the traditional things that we were using and replace it with the oils and just use those. And through that process, I started feeling better. Things started working a little bit better in my body, with, all the issues I was just naming that I was dealing with. Things started to improve over time. And through that, we started to change our diet. Mm-hmm. And that just, first we learned about the oils and learned about, living a healthier lifestyle, which led to... Sorry, Siri, we don't need your help right now.
About that is, I really feel like the reason we mention the oils is because I feel like getting the toxins out of our home, because we got rid of the chemicals and we started getting even rid of some of the over-counter medications, and I feel like that set him up for the weight loss and a successful
really
area, because his body started flushing out the toxins and we weren't adding any more in, and that way he was more receptive to whenever we started.
And I think that's a really good point to remind people, is that the detoxing before we started actually doing the diet, okay? Because before, several years when we were married, I tried, the military diet. I lost a little bit of weight, but I was starving. And, and then as soon as I got off of it, I just gained it all back. I tried, Atkins diet, same thing, starving, feel like I'm hurting myself, and then as soon as I quit, I gained whatever little progress I did, I made it back. So the detoxing that we started to do with using all these oils and getting the chemicals and medications out really did, as you said, set me up for success to do this. And so that is a very important note that we need to make, is that detox, it's a lifestyle change. It's not just, I'm going to do this get skinny quick diet and that's going to be it and I'm going to be skinny for the rest of my life. No, it really took more steps than that to make it work.
And that's the other point, is that we figured out as we started getting down the road, we realized
these are organic graham crackers, by the way, in case anybody's gonna type on there.
We figured out that and realized when we were getting ready to head down this road that we were going to have to make a lifestyle change. It wasn't going to be just another diet. It had to be a true lifestyle change, because how we were living is what got us in this predicament in the first place. And so we had to completely...
That's a true statement. Yeah.
And that's why I believe a lot of diets don't work. For one thing, a lot of them are unbalanced, but for another, people just go on the diet, lose down to where they want, and then go, oh, okay, now I'm going to go back to the way I was eating before.
And expect to stay the same. Expect to stay skinny and lose all that weight. And, some people, if that's worked for you, that's great. But if anybody's like me and normal, it never worked for me. So maybe those superhumans out there works for. I don't know.
Yeah. You think that's funny too? Okay. So what we decided to do, I'll tell you a little bit more of what we actually decided to do, is called the keto diet. And it's been kind of a popular one lately, so you may have heard of it. And basically what it is high fat, high in the good fats, and low carb, and about moderate protein. It's not super high protein, but it's not real low protein either. So it's about medium in the range. So when you do that, you got to make sure those are called your macros. Your carb, fat, and your protein is your macros, and you want to keep those within a certain balance of each other. And I did that the way I had to download 2 apps to try to figure out, try to get this, because I was like, I got to do this. What we did before didn't work, so I've got to figure something else out. So I got the AnyList app, and this helped me on my grocery list and meal planning. You can do snacks, you can do your snacks, breakfast, lunch, dinner. You can add notes. If you want to, you can add everything to your grocery list, or you can do your separate grocery list. You can, and it's just, I did have to pay for it, but it was just like $7.99 a year. And so that's
totally reasonable.
Yeah. Most of others I was finding was like $40 a year at least. So it made much more sense.
And that's an interesting tool, because keeping organized and prepared, is a really good, it helps a lot with keeping the diet.
Yes.
So when you have a plan, something that you can see and you stick to, at least I think that helped us a lot.
And I would plan meals 2 weeks at a time. And the way I kind of helped keep our macros and help figure out exactly where we were supposed to be at is I used what's called Stupid Simple Keto. Kind of a weird name, but that's another app. And that one helped me with the macro tracker, once again. And also, you can go in there and customize your meals. So if I have a new recipe, then I go, he's fine. I can go in there and say, okay, this has eggs, cheese, milk, all that sort of thing. And if you want to, you can add your seasonings, but most of the time seasonings don't affect the keto diet. They add a lot of flavor, but not a lot of nutrition most of the time. So that helped me out a lot, was those 2 apps right there. And the fun thing about the Stupid Simple one is once you purchase their app, one of their apps, you have access to all their other apps. And it's a one-time purchase. It's not a subscription. So that's really nice.
So those are just the tools that we used.
Yeah.
And if something else works better for somebody out there, this is not the only way to do it. This is not the only plan or the only organizer tools. This is just what we have been doing that's worked for us. So someone might, find a better way or something that works better for them, that's fine. So we're not promoting only using these or whatever. It's just a great tool that we use. So
yeah. And then I will tell you, right at first, it did take a lot of time to set up because we were just figuring it out. I had to calculate out all these meals and everything, and it took some time. And like, I think the first time I planned out 2 weeks of meals, I think it took me 2 days. So that was pretty bad. But now it just takes me an hour or 2 to do 2 weeks worth. And so it really, ends up doing fine. And then if I have to end up using leftovers or something, I know it's keto friendly. Maybe we don't have it exactly down to the calorie and everything, but I'm not going to stress about it. And that's another thing, is don't stress about that. Keep it simple, once you figure out how you're supposed to eat and everything, it's going to make it a lot easier, and before long, you can just keep going down the list, and you're like, okay, I can eat this. Maybe it's not exactly what I was supposed to have today, but that's okay, and he looks great. He's doing awesome.
I feel great, too. I feel
so much better.
20 times better than I did. I'm not snoring like I used to. I've got energy most all the time, and especially during this month at my work,
he's lost
postal service.
He's lost about 50 pounds and over 20 inches. Yeah. So that tells you how far he's come. And I will tell you, I would get frustrated with him at home because he would want to come home and just sit on the couch. And that's all he wanted to do, was just sit on the couch. And
telling on me,
yeah, I know, because I was frustrated with it. And now he comes home and he wants to interact with our kiddo and has the energy to interact with our little one, and he even helps me out. He's an awesome husband. He helps me out around the house, and does tons of stuff so I can concentrate on getting kiddo off to bed. So, it really shows how our lifestyle has changed, and it's definitely a lot better than it was. And I will say, we had our carbs down to a 25, and it's net carbs, not total carbs. The Atkins does total carbs, I believe. This is just net carbs. And I think 25 is a little low to just stay on that, because you are pretty limited on your veggies when you do that. So here pretty soon we're getting ready to flip over to more of a maintenancing mode, and we're going to raise that carb limit and still go into keto. It's still a keto diet, but we're changing it up a little bit, and we're just going to tweak it and see what works best for us.
Yeah, and through this process, like we mentioned before, I know we're saying we're doing the keto diet, but it really has been the lifestyle change, because we're cooking so much of our own stuff. Basically, if we don't cook it, we don't eat it most of the time. We eat out every now and then if we have to, and then we scrutinize our restaurants and try to choose something healthier and not just straight up fast food garbage. And then we cook with fresh veggies a lot, fresh or frozen, and we try to stay away from the canned stuff, and unless our family cans it ourselves, and we do organic and non-GMO, because we've been learning about the pesticides and the chemicals that are in that stuff, especially the GMOs and the modifications that they do in the GMO products. So throughout this, we're building a foundation that we can maintain on, and not just revert back to our previous habits.
Yeah, and it's a process. It's like we said, it's a process. It started We kind of looked at eating better before we got in the oils, but once we got in the oils, that helped really kickstart us into healthier living. We got rid of a bunch of toxins, which then added on to, hey, let's actually, figure out what we need to do to change and eat different and go from there, And so, it really is a learning process. And it's just, if you're out there trying to figure something out, don't give up, If you have some questions, hey, pop on here right now. I'll go look at chat real quick. If anybody's on and look at chat, ask me some questions. We'll answer to the best of our ability. Or if you're watching the replay on this, then we will. I'll message me and I'll get with you on that.
And here's another thing that I want everyone to remember is don't get discouraged. It's not going to happen overnight, and you shouldn't expect it to happen overnight. Change, like we say all the time, change one thing at a time.
Yes.
Start with your chemicals in your house, get those out. And then move on to maybe your prescriptions and your normal, Tylenol and all those different, drugs and everything under your counter. You start pulling some of those out, and then move on to looking at your food. Maybe start trying to buy some organic stuff and some non-GMO stuff, and just slowly transition. And then if you do that, then it makes it a lot easier instead of mentally looking at this like, oh my gosh, I have to maintain this crazy keto diet or this crazy thing that we're trying to do. And then you can go, oh, okay, well, this is a lot easier because I've been doing these baby steps to get there.
Yeah, and you just added one thing at a time. It just,
pace yourself.
Baby steps, David said, one thing at a time. And next thing you know, you're going to look back a year or 2, 3 years, and you're like, oh my word, look how far we've come.
Look how fat I was. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah, it's so different, And yeah, it's just awesome to me. So anyway, do you have anything else you want to add?
Just that I feel awesome. I mean, I can't say it enough. I literally night and day difference. I mean, I have never felt this good in my life. Even as a teenager, even, working out and stuff, I've never felt this good in my life. And you don't realize how many things that it can affect. Your health, really your mood, your sleep.
It affects your family.
It affects your family. Like Gina was talking about, I didn't have energy for my family after the workday. And now I'm working, 60-something hours a week, and I still have something to give my family at the end of the day. And that right there is so valuable to me. So I just want to leave you with that note. Don't give up. If you're curious, message us. Comment on the video below. Ask some questions. We have tons of information we'd love to pass on. We're trying to keep it condensed in these videos here, but we would love to help you out on your journey as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And specifically, if you have any questions about the oils that we use throughout the process and that we currently use, we would love to share that as well. Because there's several. But if you have some questions, we can help you out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, guys, next week we're going to be on Fresh Oil Fridays again. We're going to be continuing our detox series. So, be looking for that. I'll be posting through the week and give you a little more tidbits and information. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe to this page and to YouTube.
Our YouTube channel. Go right now, you Facebookers, and like that YouTube page. That Willie Cadence.
Then you'll be able to find the videos easier, and they stay on YouTube. Facebook deletes them after a while, but it stays on YouTube. So make sure to go there and you'll find all of them. And so you guys have an awesome week. Merry Christmas. And have a great weekend with friends and family. Keep it natural. Stay healthy. God bless. We'll see you next time.